Hello.
Hi.
Fonzo comes clean. Shay can't handle it. Welcome to Cliff Alert. Today we're going to be talking about OWN Network's reality-based TV series, Put a Ring on It, Season 3, The Reunion, y'all.
And today we're going to focus on Alfonzo and Shay. Please like, share, subscribe. And if you're returning, we'll appreciate it if you subscribe. And we thank you for that. So the reunion is here. And it was on and popping. And we're going to start with Fonzo and Shay. Shay looked beautiful in that red dress, and I wish she stood up so we can get a full look at it, but both Shay and Alfonso looked good. He was dressed up.
He was clean, y'all. Don't think he wasn't. I'm not the fashion police, but he was clean.
And Shay's hair and makeup was on point. They looked fantastic.
They looked good, and you could tell they was in a good place, good space.
Yes.
A lot of good vibes coming up off that couch when they were sitting on it.
Right. Shay said that after they had done the final shot, when Alfonso proposed to her, Alfonso thought that it would be a good thing for him to come clean.
Yeah, sell all his tapes, his own tapes.
Yes.
And that's what he did.
And that's what he did.
All the infidelity tapes, all the misdeed tapes,
all the funk, all the yeah. He let her know where the dead bodies were hidden, and it was too much for her, and they separated. She said she didn't speak to him for about a month.
I bet you there's a long 30 days for that brother.
And clearly Shay got something out of this show because both of them decided that they should go to counseling.
Yeah. And, Dr. Nicole came on at the very beginning of the episode and said, basically as a statement or a note to all three couples, that there are conversations that are not being had from her vantage point, but clearly this couple, Shay and Fonzo, had those conversations. They may not have been at the right time or in the right place or whatever, but they eventually had them, and that's one reason why I think that they seemingly are in a good place, a good space, and moving forward with their engagement.
Even Fonzo mentioned that he was glad they were doing counseling because of a cultural thing. He always believed that counseling was not necessary. But now that they got the tools and are using the tools, it sets them up in a better place to move towards marriage.
Yeah,
and that's great that he said that on camera.
Yeah, and Shay kind of co-signed that in her own way, because she said that they had a lot of issues, but the issues were addressed.
Right.
And that she felt comfortable in moving forward as a result of that. So I'm like, bravo to them.
They really got some good foundation under their feet to deal with life together. And I'm so glad that Fonzo said that, in the black community, people don't typically go to counseling, but he found some really good tools to learn how to deal with himself. So he is better for the marriage with Shay.
Yeah, and one of the big issues that kind of had Shay out of this potential thing was the issue with Fonzo's baby's mother.
Yes.
And they seem like they're in a good place. Fonzo came to the realization that, hey, this is something that needed to be done. He did it and introduced Shay in the part of the process. A good thing.
That's a great thing. Additionally, Shay indicated that she and Fonzo's mother are now coming to a better place.
Yeah.
That the family spend time together and spend the holidays together, and that she speaks with his mother regularly now. So that just tells you the power of putting stuff in place, telling everybody where you are so no one feels disrespected, and then moving forward. Granted, the volatile attitude of Shay, I could see why his mother did not want to have anything to do with her, because she was very combative and very in your face. And we can't forget Miss Shay Cherie.
Tay
Cherie.
Yeah, come on, Fred.
Tay Cherie and that situation they had going down at the sushi bar.
Right, at the Japanese sushi bar, man. But you know, and I said this before, Shay made some serious progress.
She sure enough did.
I cannot compliment her enough for doing that. She even came back on the reunion show and said that she felt like she needed to apologize to not only Tay Cherie,
yes,
but also to Asar, who acted like, from my vantage point, the grown-up in that room. And the referee, you know, as he would later state in terms of, he felt like he was in a boxing match, so he had to be referee. And even to Fonzo for her behavior. I thought that was something that was fantastic, and I will say this. Remember, I think I said it a while ago, but I'll reiterate it. I felt like maybe Fonzo needed to do the same thing.
It was good for Shay to recognize that she was out of bounds, she was disrespectful, and that she needed a course correction.
Yeah, and I think Dr. Nicole said, "Oh, girl, basically do that thing."
I hope Tay Cherie was able to hear the apology, or maybe they facilitated a private conversation so she could tell her personally, because Tay Cherie did not show up for the reunion. We don't know whether that was because of embarrassment. It did not look good for either of them. But I'm glad that Shay issued this apology.
No question about a class move on her part. For sure.
Because counseling does a lot of good stuff. Once you commit to the process, once you get an understanding, once you are able to be vulnerable and open yourself up, you get a lot of healing and a lot of tools to help you through those hard places in your relationship or in your marriage.
Yeah, that was just good to see all the way around. And, you know, one of the things that kind of struck me, too, about this whole reunion episode was how not only Tanisha...
the pretty girl.
Yeah, whatever. She said that Fonzo was afraid of Shay at one point in the reunion, you know, in her commentary. And Shay said, how is a 6'5" man gonna be afraid of me, 5'6"?
Well, we know the height difference doesn't have anything to do with the man being afraid of the woman. But I believe that when Fonzo went out with Tanisha or Taysha, you know, when he went out with the pretty girl, that he was respectful of Shay's wishes, which is the beginning of an awareness situation for Alfonso.
Yeah, he did what he was supposed to do. He handled it correctly, properly, as far as I was concerned, and I think she kind of
she acknowledged him
she acknowledged
for that.
Right, exactly. I thought that was a good thing.
And we see Asar and Tanisha possibly going out on a date and hooking up or what have you, because while they were waiting in the green room, they made some sort of connection. We wish them the best.
Yeah, and especially from Asar's point of view, I like the way that brother handled himself the entire time, and it was good look for the brothers, man. He represented them very well, and I like seeing them.
Who knew we could watch our episode and our takeaways that Shay is in a good spot? We want to thank you for taking the time to watch this review, and we want to thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and we'll see you in the next video.
And let's also, before we roll out, let's also thank Fonzo and Shay for being authentic.
Right. Because the shiggity that ran through this season was out of bounds.
See y'all.